Salam sejahtera, my friends. The Minister of Transport, Anthony Loke, said that the construction of the Penang LRT is expected to start earlier. The LRT will be the trunk or backbone of Penang public transport system, supported by branches of feeder buses. But is the LRT suitable for Penang? There are three other suggestions besides LRT. First, some said that Penang should just add more buses, better if install BRT, Bus Rapid Transit. Reason is because adding buses is cheaper than LRT. Although cost is important, but efficiency is just as important. What's the point of having cheaper system but not as efficient as LRT? Two case studies. First, Bogota installed one of the largest bus systems, top-tiered BRT in the world 20 years ago, called the Trans Millennial. People thought that Bogota's congestion will reduce, but after 20 years, Bogota remains the most congested city in the world. Second case study is Jakarta's BRT system, the Transjakarta, which is the first BRT in Southeast Asia and the longest in the world. But now, Jakarta is building LRT and MRT to replace BRT as the backbone of public transport system. Now, why bus system is less efficient than rail system? That's because running more buses on congested road exposes those buses to traffic disruption. Even with dedicated bus lane, the buses' movement will still be disrupted or stopped by accident and gridlock at junction. Furthermore, buses are exposed to higher risk of accident compared to LRT that move on elevated track. That's why Professor of City and Regional Planning, Dr. Robert Severo, has reported that BRT suffers in dense, built-up areas where buses move on surface road. A bus system is cheaper, but what is the point of having a cheaper system that will be disrupted by traffic and accident, which doesn't reduce congestion as much? Second, instead of LRT, some suggested for Penang to install tram that move on road, which is cheaper. This system will face the same problems as running more buses on congested road. Even with dedicated tram lane, the tram will still get stuck in traffic jam caused by accident and gridlock. Whether bus or tram, as long as they move on road, they are exposed to more traffic disruption and higher risk of accident compared to LRT that move on elevated track. Tram may be cheaper, but what is the point of having a cheaper system but doesn't achieve public transport objective? Third, some said that Penang should implement ART, Autonomous Rail Rapid Transit, or trackless tram. ART move like a tram or articulated bus, therefore face the same problem. Even with dedicated lane, the ART will still get stuck in traffic jam caused by traffic disruption and accident. Another significant concern about the ART is that it is a monopolized system. ART may be cheaper to install but expensive to maintain because the spare parts are monopolized. That's why the research conducted by the Australasian Rail Association highlighted that the ART has significant risk as a system locked into a single supplier. The LRT, on the other hand, is a matured system with many suppliers, so the maintenance cost is moderated. On top of that, if ART works like articulated bus, then why spend more to get ART when articulated bus are cheaper? Whether bus or tram or ART, as long as they move on road, they are exposed to higher traffic disruption and higher risk of accident compared to LRT that move on elevated track. What's the point of a cheaper system that doesn't achieve the public transport objective? LRT faces much lesser traffic disruption and has much lesser risk of accident compared to bus, tram and ART. Professor of Transport Engineering, Dr. Ahmad Fahan Muhammad Sabdullah, has likewise said that the LRT is segregated, more reliable and is not subjected to traffic condition. LRT is the middle ground between low efficient system and super high efficient system. The LRT is more efficient than bus, tram and ART, while the cost much lesser than MRT. So taking all this into consideration, I am of the opinion that the LRT that moves on elevated track is the most suitable backbone public transport system for Penang.